West Memphis, Arkansas, May 5, 1993. A day when the ordinary facade of this small town shattered, revealing a chilling mystery. This is the story of three 8-year-old boys, Stevie Branch, Christopher Byers, and Michael Moore. Three friends, inseparable in life, forever bound by a tragedy that would spark decades of questions, doubts, and a relentless pursuit of the truth. The disappearance of three innocent boys would forever stain the town's history, igniting a firestorm of speculation, accusations, and a desperate search for answers. Stevie, Christopher, and Michael, known for their playful spirits, had spent the afternoon exploring the woods bordering Robin Hood Hills. Their laughter, usually echoing through the trees, had fallen silent, replaced by an unnerving quiet. As night fell, a sense of dread descended upon West Memphis. Frantic calls were made, neighbors rallied, and search parties combed through the woods, desperate to find any sign of the missing boys. But fate had a cruel twist in store for West Memphis. The morning of May 6, 1993, dawned cold and bleak. The boys, their lifeless bodies submerged in a shallow creek, were discovered by a member of the search party. The news spread like wildfire, bringing a wave of grief so profound it threatened to consume the town. The once familiar woods were now a chilling crime scene. The horror of the discovery sent shockwaves through West Memphis, leaving its residents grappling with the unimaginable reality. As news of the boys' gruesome fate spread, a palpable sense of fear and disbelief descended upon West Memphis. Whispers of the tragedy echoed through the streets, replacing the usual sounds of small-town life. The community, once a tapestry of trust, now found itself unraveling, torn apart by suspicion and doubt. Parents held their children closer, their hearts heavy with both grief and the terrifying realization that the monsters in their nightmares could walk among them. The weight of the unsolved crime pressed down on West Memphis, casting a long shadow over its future. The investigation into the murders became an all-consuming force, drawing in law enforcement from across the state. Detectives worked tirelessly, following every lead, desperate to bring the perpetrators to justice. The pressure to solve the case was immense, fueling a relentless pursuit of answers. The lack of answers only served to fuel the rumor mill, casting a dark cloud over the town. The tight-knit community now found itself divided by fear and distrust. The investigation dragged on, each passing day deepening the shadows of suspicion. The police, feeling the weight of a town's grief, found themselves drawn to a group of teenagers. Among those who fell under scrutiny were Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley Jr. Damien, with his interest in witchcraft, quickly became a focal point. Jason and Jessie, through their association with Damien, were also swept up in the growing hysteria. The investigation began to hone in on Damien, Jason, and Jessie. Their differences from the perceived norm made them easy targets in a community desperate for answers. The police seized upon the teenagers' interest in the occult, building a narrative that painted them as devil worshippers. The arrests sent shockwaves through West Memphis, dividing the community further. The case had morphed into a modern-day witch hunt, with Damien, Jason, and Jessie caught in the crosshairs. The prosecution's case rested on circumstantial evidence, coerced confessions, and pervasive fear. Central to the case was Jessie Misskelley's confession, obtained after hours of interrogation without a lawyer present. Despite the lack of physical evidence and inconsistencies in Jessie's confession, the prosecution pressed on. The defense argued that the teenagers were targeted because they did not fit in with the conservative values of West Memphis. The case was built on prejudice and the manipulation of public opinion. The trial began in a climate of fear and prejudice. The prosecution presented a narrative that played on the jury's emotions, portraying the teenagers as outsiders. The courtroom became a stage for a modern-day witch hunt, fueled by sensationalized accounts of the crime. The defense struggled to counter the prosecution's narrative. The jury, bombarded with biased information, found themselves caught in the crosshairs of a case that transcended the boundaries of law and justice. As the trial progressed, the divisions within West Memphis grew wider. The case had become a litmus test, exposing the fault lines beneath the town's seemingly unified facade. Some saw the teenagers as monsters, their guilt a foregone conclusion. Others questioned the evidence, arguing that the prosecution had built their case on prejudice. The trial had only served to deepen the wounds inflicted upon West Memphis. The verdict sent shockwaves through the courtroom and beyond. Damien Echols was found guilty of capital murder and sentenced to death. Jason Baldwin and Jessie Misskelley Jr. were also found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. The case had only raised more questions, casting a long shadow of doubt over the American justice system. The verdict had only served to deepen the wounds of a community torn apart by grief and suspicion. As the years passed, the case of the West Memphis Three slowly receded into the background. Yet, a dedicated group of individuals refused to let the case fade into obscurity. They clung to the hope that the truth would finally come to light. Lawyers, investigators, and activists worked tirelessly, searching for any shred of information that might lead to the exoneration of the three men. Their efforts slowly began to chip away at the wall of indifference, unearthing new leads and exposing the flaws in the prosecution's narrative. The turning point came with DNA testing, a technology not available during the original trial. The defense fought to retest evidence, convinced it would prove Damien, Jason, and Jessie's innocence. Despite opposition, the court granted DNA testing in 2007. The results, released amidst media frenzy, failed to link the men to the crime. Instead, DNA pointed to an unknown male, casting doubt on the prosecution's case. The findings renewed hope for Damien, Jason, and Jessie's release. The revelation that the DNA evidence did not match Damien, Jason, or Jessie ignited a firestorm of media attention, bringing the case of the West Memphis Three back into the national spotlight. Documentaries, books, and countless news articles, spurred by the shocking new evidence, re-examined the case, scrutinizing the prosecution's narrative and highlighting the flaws in the investigation. Celebrities, moved by the plight of the three men, joined the growing chorus of voices calling for their release, using their platforms to raise awareness and put pressure on the Arkansas judicial system to right the wrong that had been committed. The case, once relegated to the back pages of local newspapers, became a national obsession, a symbol of the fallibility of the justice system and the devastating consequences of prejudice and fear. The public, once divided over the guilt or innocence of Damien, Jason, and Jessie, now overwhelmingly supported their release, their opinions swayed by the compelling new evidence and the tireless advocacy of those who had never given up hope. The pressure on the Arkansas justice system to act, to address the glaring miscarriage of justice that had occurred, mounted with each passing day, forcing them to confront the possibility that they had imprisoned three innocent men for nearly 2 decades. The DNA evidence, irrefutable in its clarity, had ripped a hole through the prosecution's case, leaving Arkansas in a precarious position. Admitting a wrongful conviction, robbing 3 young men of their freedom, was a bitter pill to swallow. The pressure from the public, media, and legal team was relentless, forcing a compromise, the Alford plea, a controversial solution, allowing them to maintain innocence while pleading guilty, a Faustian bargain, promising freedom at the cost of truth. Justice remained elusive. On August 19, 2011, Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley Jr., their faces etched with a mixture of relief, disbelief, and the lingering trauma of their ordeal, walked out of the Arkansas courtroom as free men. The years of wrongful imprisonment, the constant fight for their innocence, the unwavering support of their families and advocates, it all culminated in this bittersweet moment. The courtroom, packed with reporters, supporters, and those who had dedicated years of their lives to righting this injustice, erupted in a cacophony of cheers, tears, and the palpable sense that a wrong had finally been acknowledged, albeit imperfectly. The freedom they now tasted was hard-won, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of truth to eventually pierce through even the darkest of veils. Yet, the shadow of the offered plea, the bitter aftertaste of a compromise that demanded they sacrifice their quest for complete exoneration in exchange for their freedom, lingered. They were free from the physical confines of prison, but the scars of their ordeal, the years stolen, the opportunities missed, remained, a constant reminder of the fragility of justice and the enduring power of prejudice and fear. The release of the West Memphis Three, while a cause for celebration and a testament to the tireless efforts of those who fought for their freedom, did not erase the shadows that lingered over the case. The offered plea, a necessary compromise to secure their release, left a bitter aftertaste, a nagging sense that justice, in its purest form, remained elusive. The true perpetrator of the horrific murders of Stevie, Christopher, and Michael remained at large, their identities shrouded in the mists of time and the failures of the initial investigation, a haunting reminder that the quest for answers was far from over. The questions lingered, swirling in the wake of the case like ghosts refusing to be silenced. Who was responsible for the brutal murders that had shattered the innocence of West Memphis? What role did prejudice and fear play in the conviction of 3 innocent teenagers? How could a justice system designed to protect the innocent fail so spectacularly? These questions, etched into the fabric of the case, served as a stark reminder that the fight for justice extended beyond the release of the wrongly convicted, encompassing a broader pursuit of truth, accountability, and systemic change. The case of the West Memphis Three, a chilling testament to the fallibility of the justice system and the enduring power of fear and prejudice, continues to captivate and haunt the public imagination. The release of Damien, Jason, and Jessie, while a victory for justice, did not extinguish the burning need for answers, for a complete and unambiguous accounting of the events that led to their wrongful imprisonment and the tragic deaths of 3 innocent children. The search for truth, a beacon of hope illuminating the darkness of this case, persists, fueled by the unwavering dedication of those who refuse to let the memories of Stevie, Christopher, and Michael fade into obscurity. The fight for justice for the West Memphis Three, for the victims and their families, extends beyond the courtroom walls. It is a fight for a world where prejudice and fear do not dictate the course of justice, where evidence trumps speculation, and where every life, regardless of social standing or personal beliefs, is afforded the presumption of innocence. It is a fight to honor the memory of those lost by demanding accountability, transparency, and a relentless pursuit of the truth, no matter how difficult or uncomfortable it may be. The case of the West Memphis Three, a chilling reminder of the fragility of justice, also serves as a testament to the enduring power of hope, resilience, and the unwavering belief that truth, no matter how deeply buried, will eventually find its way to the surface. The saga of the West Memphis Three is a chilling reminder of the fragility of justice and the strength of human resilience. The release of Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jessie Misskelley Jr. was a victory, but it doesn't erase the 18 years stolen from them. Their case is a stark warning that justice can be infiltrated by prejudice and fear. The echoes of their ordeal reach into the heart of what it means to be a just society. Their case compels us to confront our own biases and the allure of simplistic narratives. The fight for justice serves as a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of truth. The story of the West Memphis Three is a reminder that the pursuit of justice is ongoing, a struggle against complacency. The West Memphis Three emerged as symbols of resilience, their voices amplified by those who believed in their innocence. Their story continues to inspire a new generation of advocates dedicated to ensuring the mistakes of the past are not repeated. The fight for justice serves as a beacon illuminating the path towards a more just and equitable society. Remember to like and subscribe to Oblivion Unlocked for more captivating stories that delve into the shadows of history.